Okay, I am Haidar Eid and I am a BDS activist. I am a member of the Palestinian Campaign for the Academic and Cultural Boycott of Israel. I'm also an associate professor of literature and cultural studies at Aqsa University in Gaza.
Thank you. Could you explain us a little bit the details of the call for BDS?
Look, BDS is an abbreviation for Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions, and it was a call made by more than 170 civil society organizations in Palestine, in which they called on the international community to boycott Israel, divest from Israel and from foreign companies that benefit from Israel's system of oppression in Palestine, and impose sanctions against Israel until it complies with international law. Our call, our BDS call, was modeled on the South African call for boycott against the apartheid system. Now, it took the international community more than 30 years to heed the call made by the oppressed South Africans, and in our case we issued our first statement in 2005, and now we are celebrating the 10th anniversary of the BDS call, and we can see a lot of successes. The basis on which the BDS call is issued is that we want Israel to abide by international law. Our call has no political program, and therefore it is a rights-based movement rather than a political movement. In Palestine now you have an overwhelming consensus. Almost every civil society sector and every civil society organization, all political forces from right to left are on board with us on the secretary of the BNC. The BNC is an abbreviation for Boycott National Committee, which represents almost all political and civil society sectors in Palestine. What we are expecting from the international community is that we want the international community itself to abide by international law. That is to say, we expect the international community to stop its support of Israel until Israel itself complies by international law. We know very well that Israel is the biggest recipient of European and American aid in the world, and we know that all weapons that Israel has been using to oppress our people, to commit war crimes and crimes against humanity, like what happened in 2008-2009 Gaza, and which was repeated in 2012, and which was also repeated in 2014, that would have never happened without the direct support that Israel has been getting from the West, in particular the United States of America and Western countries. But the same Western countries that are supporting Israel right now, including the United States of America, also showed support for the apartheid system in the 60s and the 70s until almost mid-80s. In mid-80s, Western leaders from the United Kingdom, people like ex-Prime Minister, the late Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, the American President, the late American President Ronald Reagan, actually considered Nelson Mandela a terrorist, and therefore they called for constructive engagement. And that concept of constructive engagement never worked out. The international community refused to deal with the apartheid system as a result of pressure exerted on those governments by their civil society sectors. And therefore, when we issued our statement in 2005, we made it absolutely clear that we have lost faith. We had lost faith in the official bodies of the international community, especially in Western governments. And that's why our call was addressed to international civil society.